Thank you very much, Mr. General Evaluator, Toastmaster person. So what a special treat for us today. Sandy gave us her very first speech that she was delivering in Toastmasters. My question to you, audience, is how did she do?
Wonderful.
Right, we think she did good. Well, congratulations. Big round of applause. What is the purpose of the icebreaker? The purpose of the icebreaker is simply to get you to get up here and give a speech. And the reason that that's absolutely so terribly important is because then every single time after that time, you've already done it. Right? It's not that big of a deal, right? You can work and refine on your technique because the actual nervousness of, wow, what does it feel like? What's it like? What are they going to do? Oh my God, I've never done this before. I don't know if I can do it. That's all gone because now you've done it. So congratulations. The hardest part of Toastmasters has now been accomplished. Everything else is easy from here on out. All right. So let's talk about the speech. It was a very well done speech. I think we all agree on that. That is fantastic. But if we just tell her, hey, good job, is she going to grow? We're here to help her grow, right?
Right.
No matter how much she ends up crying. We want her to grow. Those tears are what water the growth. Sandy started with a very strong opening, right? She grabbed our attention from it was not timid, it was not wandering, it was nothing, but she came up here and she made a strong statement. Your attention was drawn to her. You wanted to hear what she was going to say next. So good job on that. That was very, very well done. Sandy talks with her hands. A little bit of Italian in the girl, right? All right. There's what's going on. It was like a background noise going on. It didn't take away from the speech, but they were there and they were hanging out and they were going to be talking to us also. Probably if there was a deaf person in the room, they would have gotten a completely different speech as to what was going on. But it actually worked out very well. It's something that you need to be aware of. Okay, and in fact, being able to use your whole body in the speech is a fantastic skill and talent. The trick is that you need to make sure that your body is telling the same speech as you. Okay, and clearly it was nervous energy, not a problem whatsoever. It's your first speech. What you ultimately want to do is you want to learn to leave them at your side, just let them dangle there, when you're not using them as part of your speech. Very, very easy to say, very, very hard to do. So we all appreciate what that's about. Also, if I was a carpet salesman, I would be thrilled to have you give a speech. And the reason I would be so excited is because carpet salesmen make their money when people have to replace their carpet because they've been worn out from pacing. And you were making a good pace back and forth here. You were covering a lot of territory. And what it was is you were trying to think up your speech, and so you were strolling around. Moving your body is a fantastic way to keep our attention, right? But I would suggest that you stand in one place, you make a point, you tell a story, something like that, and then you transition to another point and you start telling something else. And then my father did this, and then I went out to Iowa, and then whatever. But move, we understand that that's the end of a chapter, start of a new chapter. But if you work your actual body position into your telling of the speech, then all of a sudden it's not pacing, it's just really part of the speech. You did an excellent job on storytelling. There was a multitude of stories in there, and the stories were great because we love stories. We learn through stories, and you did an excellent job of sharing those with us. It appeared as though you were using notes for your speech, but the cool thing about that is that your notes didn't take away from the speech. Every once in a while, I'd see you looking down to refresh where you were, and then you'd go on. But it did not take away from your speech, so congratulations. Ultimately, that's the balance we shoot for. Notes so you remember where you're at, but notes so that they don't take away from your speech. If I could ask you to do one change for your next speech, it would probably have to do with eye contact. Now, the good thing is you weren't looking at your notes. The bad thing is I'm not sure what you were looking at. Because you were sort of like all over the place, right? You spent no dwell time on anybody. You were sort of hitting all of us at different times. So the concept is as you're telling this story about flying out to Iowa, we both flew out to Iowa, and there was something magic about the corn that season because we met it. It was fantastic. It was as though love had touched down in the field, and we were there, just so. But what you do is you make a point, you move on. You don't stare people down or anything like that, but just make enough contact to go on from there. Once again, tons of energy in your speech. I'm looking forward to speech number 2.
Have a tissue.
Our second speech.